Hi guys, so today I'm going to go over the supplements that I personally would recommend and give you a little bit of information just about why I would recommend those, when to use them and how to use them. So first of all, supplements themselves are there purely to, as the name suggests, supplement a diet that is already in check, on point, covers all bases. Your protein is covered, your nutrients from micronutrients from fruits and vegetables, all covered, and these supplements are just there to help out in areas that you might struggle in just a little bit. So, to get into things, first things first, the main one that most people will go for and most people tend to use would be protein, so whey protein. Now, there's a lot of different proteins out there in the market, and it can be very confusing as to which one should I go for, how much should I have of this one, should I have this one at this time of day, should I have this one before I go to bed, etc, etc, etc. So really, it doesn't matter all that much. At the end of the day, it's still protein. You're still going to absorb that protein and you're still going to get the benefits from taking it. Now, if you're into the absolute minute details and you are of the athletic elite, let's say, then maybe I would worry a little bit more about what type of protein, timings, etc., that type of thing. But really, for the everyday person, it does not matter. It really does not matter. Personally, I would go for just a standard whey protein that's not too cheap. I've made that mistake in the past where I've bought very cheap and got very cheap results from it. It either tastes horrendous or it just doesn't mix in well with things like oats. Personally, I tend to mix my protein with oats. I never really tend to drink it. Like in a protein shake or anything like that, I always tend to put it in with something like oats or Greek yogurt, that type of thing. So that's my personal test for whether a protein is good from a mixability and taste point of view. So yeah, I would go for something that's kind of anywhere from sort of 18 up to sort of 25, 30 pounds for a kilo. Roughly, you know that protein is going to be of a reasonable standard. So brands like MyProtein, bulk powders, they're perfect. They're great for everyone to get affordable quality protein from. So I would go with those brands. Now you can look into getting sort of higher grade, higher quality isolate proteins, but again, that's purely if you have the money to spend on it. If you don't worry about it. It's not essential. So yeah, that's really kind of it for protein. Next, the next supplement that I would personally recommend and that I take is creatine. So creatine is really there to, it's to help mainly with performance. So when you're in the gym and you've got those kind of heavy loads, you're doing say maybe 4 to 6 reps on something like a bench press and you're getting to that 4th, 5th rep and you're really struggling, creatine is there and works in the body to essentially give you that little bit of extra energy that you need to eke out those last couple of reps. So really it's there for strength and power. So it's the most researched and studied supplement in the planet. It's got the most results showing its positive effects, so that is mainly why I would take it. It has the most backing behind it. The way that it works is that people would say that, oh, when I take creatine I hold a lot of water, I feel very bloated and watery. That's probably because they followed either a slightly wrong protocol with it, or they just don't have a good reaction with it. Creatine does hold water, but it's intracellular in the muscles, so it's within your muscles, so you shouldn't have any bloatedness in your face, in your stomach, anything like that at all. It should only be intramuscular. So in terms of dosages, I would take 5 grams every day. There's no need to load. There was a bit of chat years back about having to load 20 grams to saturate the body and then take 5 grams daily after that. There's no need to do that. 5 grams every day and at a reasonably consistent time, and you should, after a good couple of weeks, start to notice some benefit within the gym. If you don't notice any benefit, then that's fine, you're maybe just not a responder, and there's no issue with that. So that's creatine. Next up, something that I take personally is essential amino acids. So there is essential amino acids and there's branch chain amino acids, so EAAs and BCAAs. BCAAs will be marketed by a lot of sports nutrition brands as, oh, you have to take this intra-workout to retain muscle and it will stop any sort of catabolic event during the workout. It will help you just, get that extra edge. There's not been a whole lot of research done on BCAAs, and anything that has been done has kind of been reasonably inconclusive as to whether it gives a true benefit. The only time that it's really been shown to give a minimal benefit, like percentages, like 1-2%, if that, would be in athletes that have kind of got very, very low levels of body fat, so they've dieted down, and they are at higher risk of potential catabolism, essentially muscle breaking down, either during their workout or throughout their day. So BCAAs have been there just to show, to kind of help to keep what's there from a muscle standpoint. For the everyday person though, these are one of the probably most overhyped supplements that there is. There is absolutely no need to take BCAAs or EAAs for that matter. But again, if you are sort of all about the details and the minute details, then go ahead. But it more or less is a bit of money down the drain. Now, I take essential amino acids, purely because the way that I train and the way that I approach my diet, etc., is that I like to have protein feedings throughout the day. So spread out throughout the day, around about sort of 30 to 40 grams, in around sort of 5 to 6 feedings. And my training sessions generally are anywhere from sort of 2 to 2.5 hours. So that's quite a long time for me to not have any sort of protein feeding. So I like to then have that mixed in intra-workout with some water, and I'll just sip on that. That's personal preference though. I'm not getting any massive benefit from that other than my muscle protein synthesis, which I can go into in another video, is something which is helped just being spiked throughout the day. But for the everyday person, it's not an issue. Do not worry about it. It's not something that you have to stress about. Don't spend your money on it. Make sure you, again, like I said at the start, make sure your diet is in check, and you won't really need any, or you shouldn't really need many of these supplements. So that's BCAAs and EAAs. The next thing that I would definitely recommend is a good multivitamin, a fish oil, and a good vitamin D supplement as well. The climate that we live in the UK, we definitely need a lot more vitamin D support, especially now coming into the winter months. Daylight is sparse, so getting that additional vitamin D through supplementation, I would definitely recommend that. I think most doctors would recommend that as well. So yes, those are certain. Multivitamins are there kind of more just for a bit of a security policy. So although your diet should be filled with good sort of micronutrients, fruits, vegetables throughout the day, the multivitamin will be there just to kind of top up on anything that you might not be getting through those foods. Fish oils there generally for joint support, a bit of sort of cognitive what's the word? So a bit of like cognitive. Right, scratch that out. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of supplements. There are other things that you can look into, but again, it's not going to be the be and end all of what should already be a solid diet. So that's really it, guys. If you have any questions on any supplements whatsoever or anything that I've spoken about today, please ask. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Just give me a shout. Okay, see you in the next one, guys.